Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's see what we have. Knock, knock, knock. All right, here we go. Oh, we have a two-headed monster, it looks like. You can see that right here. All right, that's a good start. Which, you know what? I'm going to bring up the card. I'm going to do it. We have... And we are using in the cycle of 12 readings, the Jungian Tarot. And this, or Young Tarot. Young Tarot? It's either Young Tarot or Jungian. I don't have the book. It's a Jungian Tarot. And it's by Robert Wang. And we have here the Two of Wands. Very fiery, as you can tell. Very illuminating. Okay, so this is a card of, in the Thoth deck, or Crowley's estimation anyways, which is what mostly I go by, because that's what I've learned through is the Thoth deck. Dominion. Okay, so related to Dominion. Also though, intervention, assertiveness, motivation, being motivated, and the will, the creative will. Yeah, so let's see. Let's see. We're going to start, well, we started with this kind of two-headed monster we have going on here, right? And let's see. Cup. I want to see if there's more context before I really get started on it. Okay. So we have on this side, it looks like we have a cat. We have something that looks like what came to mind to me as a specter. Okay, maybe like a ghost, maybe something like this, but it seems like a specter, an unseen force, something that's kind of, you know, kind of materializing in your life, something that is causing some kind of anxiety or maybe a sense of fear, a feeling of uncanny. And with this, I mean, it looks like a cat. It looks also like a, what are those called? Like a, what are they called? Sugar babies? It's like a nocturnal marsupial. And I feel like, and I really felt like going into this reading, even before, this is really for you, Scorpio, going to be a deep time of walking in the night side. Okay, you are very much walking through a very dreamy space, okay, in your life. I get this image of kind of you walking through kind of a very almost like sand dunes, like deserty, kind of at night. I can hear the whispers of just kind of these otherworldly things. There's like that tickle somewhere deep in your mind that is bring me forward, you know, pull me out of the back of your psyche, bring me into the manifest world, bring me into the material. Okay, so I think that you really are working out some, at least one important thing. Something has kind of become unstuck, is kind of rattling around deep inside of you. Okay, and you are being pulled more and more into this kind of surreal landscape, this kind of dreamy place, what I consider in my mind the night side. So the unconscious, the dream worlds, the astral worlds, possibly planes, whatever you want to call it, places of interior landscapes, kind of maybe somewhere in it could be dissociative states to some degree. Whatever it is, I feel like it's like you're waking up, you never feel throughout your day that you ever are detached from that dream space. And we've all been there, right? Where we wake up, maybe we didn't sleep enough, maybe we slept too much, maybe our dreams were so immersive and intense that we find ourselves kind of sleepwalking through the first, third of our day. I feel like you're really existing in this place. It is really, it feels like a very potent time. And there are some really viable psychic resources available to you. Okay. Now I also see we have kind of a boat here, and then above it I see they almost look like little fairies or some kind of little flying creatures. And it makes me again think of this kind of place that is this like idea of being led into the in-between, the unknown, the mystery. When you come upon a fae, or a fae comes upon you, and that would be like a fairy or a changeling, a gnome, whatever, a leprechaun, whatever, these kinds of fae creatures. And they notoriously will kind of get you a little bit into an altered state of mind, maybe a bit enchanted, curious at least, and kind of take you in circles so that you might follow them back to the fairyland or the faeland. And this is kind of like where you go and never come back. You never are heard or seen from again. I feel like maybe to some degree this is how people who went missing, maybe were kidnapped, unfortunately, or ran off or whatever. To some degree, maybe this is like how they explain these things. But on the other hand, I'm a big believer in all of these kind of otherworldly and superstitious and magical things, or at least I want to be a believer. I love to live in that kind of very romantic, romantic mindset of these things, hoping that these things exist in some way, some alignment of perception. And so now I get this feeling of and with the boat, it draws these kind of, again, dreamy, almost like Peter Pan going to the sleep lands, the lands beyond, and kind of being in this state of timelessness, right? And I feel like this makes sense, having to do with something within you kind of coming dislodged, or unstuck, and now you are being pulled in to visit this place or this thing, so that maybe you can collect it and process it, begin to witness it, look at it, become familiar with this part of self, with this fragment of the eternal, and so that you may ultimately integrate it, right? But so this is kind of the terror, the great terrible of being a conscious being, but also the great privilege, the wonderful, these journeys that we get to take deep into our self mythology, deep into those unknown places, those kind of murky, enchanted, sometimes scary avenues of self. Okay. And I think that that's really coming on so very strongly for you. I feel that this is really the most central thing to your being in these recent days and weeks. Okay. And so I do believe that there is kind of a transition into maybe some research, preparation, and making kind of a real clear plan about beginning some kind of self-ritual, ceremony, operation, some kind of process, okay? What does this look like for you? I'm not sure. But I do feel, and we'll look at this kind of silly looking thing. It looks like something out of, Alice in Wonderland or something. Maybe like a caterpillar with a cat's head or some type of thing like this. I believe that you are really in this movement towards setting up this journey. You're already on it. Setting up the formal parts of it, the ritual, okay, or a ceremony, rite of passage, something like this, okay. I believe that this is really you will be using this operation as a means to transcend a very necessary gateway. Okay, so this could be something like a rite of passage for sure. I think it will be very important, okay? I also think that a big part of the work that is happening right now for you is identifying this, and it doesn't have to look like this by any means, but, excuse me. This being that will assist you, that will go through parts of this process with you, this kind of companion, soulmate, beloved, higher consciousness, daemon, guardian angel, something. I don't know exactly what it is. It might not be, your one soul guardian angel, or maybe you have a few. I don't know. It depends on how you experience your internal world or your system, your, whatever. But I do think that for this particular journey, you will need to identify this being, this consciousness, this intelligence. And I do think that this can probably be achieved through something like meditation, visualization, dream work. Okay, this will be part of that preparation for the overall ritual or operation. Okay, and this is important. I think it's not every work that we do we need to kind of have some kind of in so many stories, it's the invocation of the demon or the you know, some kind of elemental, or being visited by that night muse, or the disembodied macrobe that will whisper to you a holy book in your ear as you transcribe it. You know, these are common themes in any kind of important ritual or ceremony or operation. It doesn't always have to be part of it, of course, but I do believe that this will be important for you. I also think that it's just really important to I think it helps align the perception, the experience. It creates something that's maybe a little more immersive when you feel that you are experiencing some kind of intelligence outside of yourself, or as part of yourself that is still has kind of this strange other effect, right? Or unknown other. And so let's see, what else should we see here? What else should we read from this thing? We have a Z. It could also be a 2, I suppose. I'm reading it as either a Z or an N. Okay, and that seems like that could be an important name. Okay, maybe having to do with a sacred name. We also have what looks to be more like an M here. So we have either a Z or an N, and then we also have an M. Here we have an exclamation point. So really emphasizing maybe the M. So the M is really in this emotional space. So this might be something more to do with the focus of this work. Maybe an aspect, a word that has to do with it, a sacred utterance. It could be somebody that is related to the actual focus that you're looking for. You know, if it's some kind of situation, or I don't know, maybe a genetic memory, a trauma, some kind of you know, like download that is going to be presented to you, but something with an M. Okay. And then we also have this beautiful figure of a person who seems to be gazing up, and it looks like they're looking at maybe some kind of bird, but really has their head way back, gazing towards the sky in awe, looking at this bird, which to me very much an indication of higher thought, the kind of formation of a concept, a thought form. And so I do believe that within this process that you are going through, this journey inward, there will also be some really interesting concepts emerging through your psyche. And I think that it's really important that you document these, put them into your artwork, write them down, make a list, journal them, whatever it is that you prefer to do. I really think that this is going to be so important for you, because you are going to have some very unique experiences and perceptions, and maybe things that will get lost in the jumble afterwards. So make sure that you are kind of keeping track of some of the things that are coming through for you. Okay. I see here we have, it looks like some kind of water bird, maybe a swan. We also have these two barriers, it looks like. And And to me, really what comes to mind is the message that you need to look for the watcher. They will tell you your secret. Okay, and we have another exclamation mark. And let's take a look down here. We have this kind of spooky little face. So I think that it reminds me of like a Halloween kind of jack-o'-lantern face or something. I feel that you will have at least one experience that will be a little startling, that will maybe make you want to end this operation. And now I would never advocate for anyone to go into places that re-traumatize you or traumatize you, things that are too difficult or just in the moment are not beneficial, will not be beneficial. Do not push through just for the sake of pushing through. However, I do believe that this is going to be one of those false veils, or not false veils. This will be a veil, okay? This will be a falsehood to some degree. And this is meant to deter you from this work, okay? And if you have done any involved kind of ritual, ceremony, operation, you will know that they are usually riddled with these kind of complicated, emotional, psychic things that arise. And you know, it's important to have a strong foundation, taking care of your body, okay? Sleeping, drinking water, eating well, okay? Exercising, moving your body, intentionally moving your body, trying to reduce stress, outside stimuli, of course, refraining from using substances that alter your mind, unless, you know, obviously specified for some kind of purpose, right? I would say especially drinking can be really drinking alcohol, I should say, during any kind of operation can be troublesome, especially emotionally. I think it can become dangerous, okay? In my opinion. But, you know, all these things, getting daylight, getting fresh air, and remaining in contact with others that are necessary to, you know, help you have a sense of grounding, checking in, having somebody, at least one person that you will check in with, okay? And so all of these things kind of have to happen so that when you do run into these difficulties, these, you know, different kinds of ordeals that happen as you pass through gateways and veils and doorways or whatever you want to call them, that you have the fortification that you need to, you know, continue on and to stay intact. I was just chewing ice. I forgot where I was at. And so I think that this is a beautiful time for you, Scorpio. I'm jealous. I wish this was my reading. I kind of just want to take it as my own. I want to claim it for me. But it's not my time right now. I'm not in this place. So hopefully soon though. It feels like it will be coming soon. But anyhow, I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. I know this is kind of a short one, but I know these, I try to do, you know, some pretty standard readings most of the time, and I hope that you enjoy those. I also want to do some readings that are kind of what I would want to hear, right? And this is more of a reading that I would want to hear about. I want to hear about the things that are coming up that speak to me as well. So I hope this reading finds you well. I hope it resonates with some of you. I'm sorry if this is, you know, too out there. You know, definitely check out some of the other readings. They're a lot more standard, I would say. Not standard, but different. They're a little different. Probably more relatable for most people. But this is a night side reading. So this is going to be a little bit of that bizarro land, the little kind of surreal absurdities of the dark night. So I wish you well on your journey, and you know, just be well, be well, be well. Take care of yourself. Write things down. Don't forget who you are. You will, you know, whenever you embark on these kind of things, these pathways in, there's always a little bit of a shift in the configuration. So if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps me get into the algorithm, and I appreciate that so much. It's helping us grow the community one person at a time, and we are doing it. The channel is, you know, slowly but surely getting more and more subscribers and interactions and views, and I'm just so eternally thankful and blessed, and the people that I have come into contact with due to doing readings, so thankful for. If you haven't subscribed yet, think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And please think about leaving a comment. I want to hear how you're doing. I love reading all of the little messages and stuff that I get. I don't usually talk about it, but I do private readings. The ones I've been doing recently, I've really enjoyed the communication with the people I've read for. I'm so honored to be able to do them, and for people to be so open and vulnerable with me. It is the ultimate honor, really. And so if you are interested in a private reading, there's information on how to do that, how to book one, in the description. But other than that, that's what I have for you, Scorpio. We'll talk again in a few days, and you know that you have all of my love.